as he scored the second touchdown for the Birds. Boston Scott with the first, but I think he was probably the most impressive guy from the first half outside of Joe Flacco.
Was for me. I don't think there was much question that Gainwell had the team pretty much made going into this game. I don't think he had to show anything special tonight to make the team. I mean, he was a draft pick, a guy they liked a lot. I think he had been very good through camp.
Sure.
So he was in pretty good shape, but you always like to see him step it up in under game conditions, and he certainly did tonight. I think he's. I liked him a lot when they picked him. I had seen him play at Memphis. He sat out last year, which I think hurt his stock a little bit. But he's got an awful lot of ability.
Right. Running and catching. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's really kind of the role that I think he's going to have, and I think he's going to have it even as a rookie. I think he's going to play a lot.
So the change of pace guy, kind of.
Well, change of pace, he can do that for you, but he's such a good receiver. That's the thing. Miles Sanders is your lead back. I don't think there's much question about that, but he's very inconsistent catching the ball. And one of the things that Nick Sirianni has talked a lot about is how much this offense is designed to throw the ball to the running backs. And right now, Miles isn't catching the ball all that well. So to implement that part of the game, the passing game to the running back, you're going to have to look for somebody who's a little more sure-handed than him. Boston Scott can do it. We've seen him do it. But actually, of all the backs you have in camp right now, Gainwell is your best receiver. I mean, he's such a natural catcher of the ball that you can actually move him and put him in the slot and run him like a real receiver. So yeah, he's been very impressive all through the summer and shows it again tonight.
It's so odd seeing him with that number 14 out there as a running back, but something we're all getting adjusted to. With Gainwell's performance, Boston Scott was right there with a almost 50-yard touchdown there to get things started. Is Scott still the kind of second in the pecking order to Miles Sanders in your eyes, and then Gainwell it will be third, or?
I don't know how that's going to shake out. I mean, Sanders will obviously
Jordan Howard in the mix there.
Yeah, and Howard will be too, because I think Howard will make the team because Howard is. Right now, you've got Scott, Hundley, and Gainwell are all these smaller kind of receiver, change-up kind of backs.
Sure.
You don't really have another power runner behind Sanders other than Howard. So I think Howard will make it kind of in that role. But Boston Scott, I think, was pretty much on the team too.
Right.
The guy who I think is a little bit on the bubble is Hundley, who's a talented kid, but has been hampered. Had gotten off to a really good start this summer, but got a rib injury that slowed him down now, and he hasn't played now for the last 2 games. He may wind up. They might try and get him through back to the practice squad and just keep him in house. But he had a good enough college career, and he's shown enough this summer that if they put him on waivers, he might get claimed by another team.
Joe Flacco with 2 TD passes, one to Boston Scott, and then the last one we just saw to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. A shame we don't have anything to compare Flacco's performance to because we haven't seen Jalen Hurts but for only 7 passes this preseason. But with that, we have seen some success from Flacco. We saw Jalen Reagor make a nice grab there at the start of the game. Something I know fans are really clamoring for, to see him take a step forward. What did that say to you to see him make that move and push the ball down the field?
It was a nice play. I mean, it was a nice catch, and he is working at his route running, which is the thing that he really had to improve, and he's gotten better at that. He just has to be able to do it on a more consistent basis, Dan. He makes a really good play from time to time, makes some spectacular plays in practice, but you need to see him do it in the games. You need to see it in real game conditions. And the play he made tonight was a good one. Scott's play down the sidelines with the move that he threw in the defensive back was terrific.
Forget about it.
And then, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside at the end, right before halftime, makes a really good play, a really good adjustment there. Flacco gets out of the pocket, sort of signals for him, take it deep. He throws a double move, gets up the sideline, makes a nice catch and a run. And, we were talking in pregame about, okay, how's the receiver corps going to shake out? Who's on the bubble, who's got a chance to make it, who doesn't. And I kind of thought that Arcega-Whiteside was kind of on the outside looking in, frankly. And he's helped himself tonight. He's made 2 catches, and the touchdown right before halftime was a nice adjustment and a nice catch. You talk about Flacco. Flacco had a good first half, which he kind of needed because he didn't play very well at all in the New England game. He looked very much in his element here. The amazing thing about him was he actually showed some ability.
Right.
I mean, Joe is a guy that he's nobody's idea of a scrambler. Okay, we know that. But I mean, there were a couple of situations here where he got flushed out of the pocket and
Made plays,
and turned it into a play. So good for him. But I'd still rather see Jalen Hurts play in.
Right, and that brings me to my next question. Here we are, third preseason game. None of the starters are out there for the Birds. A real lack of reps here with Jalen Hurts and the offensive line and this young receiving core. Seth Joyner just talked about, and Barrett in the pregame, about the fact that you got this team that's trying to do something that's new, but yet you're not seeing your players out there for the coaching staff. You're not getting the reps with your teammates. Any trepidation for you going into September 12th against Atlanta with the lack of time the offense have had together?
Very much so.
Okay.
Very much so. I just don't know if this team's going to be ready for the opener. I think that with
How does Sirianni and the team spin that though? What are they real? Do you feel like them trumpeting the joint practices holds water, or do you feel like that's just?
Well, no, that's clearly what they're saying to you. I mean, for all the people that say you're not getting enough preseason work, they say, listen, these joint practices, we've had a lot of them and we've done well in them, which it's true. I mean, for as far as it goes, but joint practices are better than regular practices. I'll grant you that.
But not as good
But they're
as the
not
game.
games.
Right.
But they're not games. And you need to play some games to get this team ready to go. I mean, you got a lot of young players and a lot of guys who even are veteran players. They're still learning how to play together. And I just don't know if they've gotten enough work this summer with their starters, to actually be ready to play. And as we've said, and I've said it numerous times, and I'll probably say it again a couple more times during the weeks leading up to the opener, you look at their opening part of their schedule, it's tough. It's really tough. They got to be ready to play. And I just think they needed more work in the preseason than what they've gotten.
More questions than answers, unfortunately, at this point. But he is Ray Didinger, the Hall of Fame writer. I'm Danny Pommells. Make sure to join us on Eagles Post-Game Live with all the breakdown of this game, along with Seth Joyner and Barrett Brooks, as we prepare ourselves for the Eagles to hit the road and go down to Atlanta and hopefully get a win against the Falcons. I'm Danny Pommells. Thanks for watching Eagles Halftime Live. We'll see you after the game.